All right, hello everyone. Welcome to another episode of Cosette's Gotta Talk About It. And today, for this month's episode, for the month of July, I'm talking about Disability Pride Month, which happens in the month of July. I am disabled. I'm a disabled person. I don't talk about it a ton on my page, but it's something that I want to talk about more because it's something that I think is really important. But yeah, so I'm just going to talk about the history of the month and then my experience and how that relates to the rest of my content. Because I have some content coming up that relates more to like the background of disability and like what it really means to be disabled. But first up, the month of Disability Pride Month takes place in July because it is to celebrate the passing of the Americans with Disabilities Act, which was passed in July of 1990. I found out that the month, like this celebratory month, isn't officially recognized by the United States, but since 2004, people have been doing their own things to celebrate. And if you're in a major city, you might find like a parade near you, but it really isn't known about. And it's not to dismiss, the struggles that disabled people go through, but is to celebrate disabled people and that there's so much beauty in their lives. A lot of people tend to look at disabled people and think that their lives aren't worth living because they're disabled. And this month tries to break that and to celebrate, because I'd rather be alive and disabled than dead. That might be kind of morbid, but like there are so many people who unfortunately did not get that chance. So I'm proud to be here, and I'm proud to be an advocate, and I'm proud to be able to talk about my experience in hopes that it will help other people, because I only really recently started seeing content around about my disability, and when I first got diagnosed, it was weird. So that's Disability Pride Month. There is a flag. If I can find like a non-copyright image of it, I'll put it here, but it's kind of like a little zigzag situation with different colors, which I like that. I haven't actually looked at the actual meaning, but like to me, looking at the flag, like it with the zigzags, like disabled people, we cannot always go on the straight path, and we might have to do separate things to get there, but we will still get there with able-bodied people. That's kind of how I think about it. But yeah, so that's Disability Pride Month. That is this month. Duh. How many times will I say that? Disability Pride Month is this month. It's July. This is my video for July. I'm posting once a month because this will go connect into my story of my disability, as I've been working on recovering and resting, and I'm just not like at a point where I can crank out a video a week and take care of myself. And although I want to, because I know the consistency is what's going to get me to grow, I need to take care of myself first, and that's okay. The blog will always be here, but I need to take care of myself first. So that's why I'm just going to be doing one video a week. I do have some new stuff coming that you might see big chunks of content twice a month. We'll see. But yeah, that's why I'm only doing one video a month. If I wind up doing more, like that's awesome, cool. But it's also summer. I want to enjoy my summer, kind of being stuck behind an editing computer when I could be outside. And it's like, which one would I rather do? So yeah, taking care of yourself is important. Please do it. I've been burnt out since like sophomore year of high school, so like, take care of yourself. Now, speaking of sophomore year of high school, we're gonna go 2 years forward to the summer before my senior year of high school, and that is when I found out that I was diagnosed. Not found out. What? I was diagnosed with IBS. I found out that I had IBS. That's what I was trying to say. IBS stands for irritable bowel syndrome. It can appear in a lot of different symptoms in people. There are different kinds of it. There's like IBS-C, which is constipation, IBS-D, okay, CD, constipation, diarrhea. You get what I'm saying. I worked today. It's kind of a long one. Now, IBS for me presents in I get fatigued often, easily, especially when I'm about to get a flare up. Like if I just start feeling very run down, all of a sudden I know like I'm about to have a flare up. I have a lot of stomach pain, you know, the bloating, the cramping, frequent trips to the bathroom. I have to hydrate a lot more than normal people, and I get nauseous like all the time. Like I'm just kind of used to being nauseous because it's just like a baseline, you know. And I'm usually in stomach pain like at least once a day for like whatever reason, and I'm just kind of, it's just like, it gets to a point where you don't even really notice it anymore if it's not like extreme. But yeah, that was a very difficult diagnosis to have because the only way to treat it without just like hopping right into medication is the FODMAP diet, which if you haven't heard of it, it's weird, but essentially you kind of go through an elimination diet where you strip, like they gave us this whole paper. You get rid of all these items in your diet. You like slowly incorporate them. You do like one a week, but if it triggers you, you have to wait like 4 weeks to do the next one. It's a really long process, and it is excruciatingly difficult. But during that process, I discovered that I am gluten intolerant, which was beyond heartbreaking for someone who loves food and who loves gluten, honestly. I was eating it all the time. I also realized I can't have high fructose corn syrup. Dairy is kind of hit or miss. Cabbage and I don't get along. And there are some other like fruits and veggies. I can't do watermelon. Although those things will just trigger me like right up instantly sometimes. So it's hard, and it was heartbreaking, and I was kind of depressed. I mean, it's very difficult just having to change your lifestyle instantly. Like it's not an easy change. Like it was drastic and it was brutal, and I was a 16-year-old girl. Not easy. And that is why I like to focus on gluten-free content on my vlog, because if you really think about it, if a place does not have any gluten-free options, is that place really accessible? I mean, there are other conditions like celiac where people cannot eat gluten. Like, are you really being accessible as an establishment if you're not having, you know, friendly options, gluten, dairy, etc. for your customers? And it's really upsetting sometimes because there are some places I just can't go because I don't know if I am going to be able to eat, or if I can eat, if it's going to make me upset, like my stomach upset. And I've gotten sick before. I got sick in Washington, D.C. because I couldn't find like gluten-free food like anywhere. I have since kind of had to force myself to expand what I like to eat. I usually would never eat salads. I do now. Sometimes it kind of winds up being your only gluten-free option, which is terrible. So yeah, that's essentially why I talk about gluten-free options on my page, and why I think it's so important, because although there are people that do that diet by choice, most people don't. It's not a fun diet, and it's not something that anyone should be doing voluntarily, in my opinion. Like, unless you need it for health reasons, like, it's not fun. It's difficult, and the fad diet made of eating gluten-free a few years back kind of ruined everything for the rest of us. I'm hoping to talk more about disability and being more open about, you know, the fact that I am disabled, because it does affect what I do. You know, if I weren't disabled, I'd have a whole lot of an easier time and a ton more energy to film and shoot and do all this stuff, but that's just not something that I have the power to do. It's very difficult when you have a disability, chronic illness, etc. You just generally have a lower baseline of like energy than able-bodied, neurotypical people. It's hard. It's hard to get through the day and then still like want to do fun stuff after. But I'm hoping that as I recover from my burnout from school, that it'll become easier for me to do things that I like. This morning I worked out, which is crazy. I haven't done that in forever. But it felt really good to get to do something like for me and for me only. That is it. That is all. I just really wanted to come on and talk about it and bring awareness to this month and bring awareness to disabilities, because a lot of people just kind of brush it under the rug, and that's just like not okay. It's the world we live in. It's easier to not talk about it than to talk about living with a disability, obviously. But our lives as disabled people are affected by this, especially as someone with a blind disability, or invisible disability, whatever phrase you want to use. People look at me, I look normal, I look healthy. But I'm not. My body would tell you otherwise. But there's just such a stigma and a taboo about being disabled, and it even took me a really long time to accept that having IBS is a disability, because it is just such a jarring reality to live with, and it's never going to go away. It's something that I'm always going to have to live with and deal with. Maybe it'll get less severe, that'd be cool, but it's always going to be something that I have to deal with, and that's just the reality of my life. It is easier to not talk about those things, but people need resources. There was no one talking about IBS when I was diagnosed, and I felt alone, and it's embarrassing because you're pooping all the time in a public high school bathroom, which is something that no one ever wants to do. And it's hard, and I felt kind of alienated in the process from even just the rest of my friends, because I can't do the things that they do just in that way. It's something that you really don't understand until you've gone through it. But I hope that if you're someone who is able-bodied, that you would listen to the voices of disabled people, not just me, but there are so many disabled content creators out there. I see them all the time on TikTok. Just listen to their stories, because knowing their struggles, and maybe next time if you see someone going through that same struggle and you say something, that just can be so helpful in helping that person not feel alone. And being that advocate and fighting for change can be a really big deal, not just to that person and make them feel less alone, but just in hopefully changing the world for the better and making the world a more accessible place. Because even though America has the Americans with Disabilities Act, which prevents and protects disabled people against discrimination, that's only in America, not in the rest of the world. And it's something that I worry about, because what if I go to Europe and, I have to pay to go to the bathroom, and I'm about to go, you know what I mean? You're about to shit your pants, right then and there. I just, stresses me out. Maybe it's not as big a deal as I'm making it, but I even get nervous in New York City because there are not a lot of public bathrooms, and I need them more than I'd like. So I just hope that by listening to my voice, by listening to the voice of other creators, that maybe more people can be aware that disabilities come in all forms, and there's always something that we could be doing better, especially in the state of the world right now. So yeah, that's actually it. I know I said that 5 minutes ago. I don't know. I can't see the timer from here. I'm blind. But that is it actually for me. I hope everyone has a good Disability Pride Month. Support your disabled peers. Ask them how they're doing. Check in on them. I mean, check in on all your friends. Let's be real. Mental health struggles are real. Let's break that stigma too. I also can't believe it's July and the summer's almost over. But I might be ready for fall. I wish it could stay October forever, because I'm a sweat ball. But I like that October, September has nice weather. But right now I'm just dying, so that's it. That's it for me. Have a good rest of your month of July. I know there's not much of it left, but enjoy it. Take care of yourself. I'm certainly trying. Eat good food. Rest. do what you need to do. That's all for me. I'm really excited for all the things that I have to come. It's gonna be really awesome. I just am taking time for myself now, and that's okay. I need to be patient with myself. And it's hard for me. Anyone who knows me knows that I just don't settle down. I can't just say no to things, but I'm saying no. I'm taking care of myself, and it feels really good. So yeah, that's it for me. Thank you all, and I will see you all next time.